There comes a moment in every awakened person's life when food stops being just food. What once felt normal suddenly begins to feel heavy, uncomfortable, even energetically wrong. If you've been noticing that certain meals leave you drained instead of nourished, unsettled instead of satisfied, you are not imagining things. Your body has been whispering to you for a long time, and now you're finally starting to hear it. Many chosen ones move through years of life ignoring these subtle signals. They eat what everyone else eats, follow the same routines, and wonder why their energy fluctuates so dramatically. But awakening changes your sensitivity. Your system becomes more responsive, more selective, more aware of what truly supports you and what quietly depletes you. This is not weakness, it is refinement. Pause for a moment and reflect honestly. After certain foods, do you feel foggy, irritable, unusually tired? These patterns are often the first gentle alarms. If this is already resonating with you, make sure you stay with this message until the end, because what you're about to understand could completely change the way you nourish yourself. Not everyone experiences food the same way, and this is something science and real-life experience both quietly confirm. Highly sensitive individuals, emotionally and physically, often have more reactive nervous systems. This means stimulants, additives, excess sugar, and heavily processed meals can hit them much harder than the average person. Chosen ones often fall into this sensitive category. Their bodies process stimulation more intensely. Where one person feels nothing, another may feel overstimulated, anxious, or energetically low. It's similar to how some people can drink coffee at night and sleep peacefully, while others lie awake with racing thoughts for hours. The difference is real, and it matters. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever noticed that friends can eat certain foods with no issue, while you feel completely off afterward? You're not being dramatic, your system may simply be more responsive. And the more you honor that sensitivity, the more stable and clear your energy becomes. One of the most overlooked truths is how deeply food affects the mind. People often focus only on weight or physical health, but chosen ones frequently notice something else first: brain fog. That strange, heavy, cloudy feeling that appears after certain meals is not random. Modern nutrition research has repeatedly shown that high sugar, ultra-processed foods can impact focus, mood stability, and cognitive performance. Blood sugar spikes and crashes alone can create irritability, fatigue, and poor concentration. When your system is already sensitive, these effects can feel even more pronounced. If you've been struggling with inconsistent focus, sudden mood dips, or that frustrating mental haze, your plate might be playing a bigger role than you think. Pay attention over the next few days. Notice what happens to your clarity after different meals. Awareness is the first step toward powerful change. Energy depletion doesn't always come from obvious junk food. Sometimes it comes from foods that seem completely normal but simply don't agree with your unique system. Heavy fried meals, excessive refined sugar, artificial additives, and highly processed snacks are common culprits that many sensitive individuals struggle with. These foods can create inflammation, digestive strain, and unstable blood sugar levels. The result? That familiar afternoon crash, unexplained irritability, or the overwhelming urge to lie down after eating. Over time, this pattern can make you feel like your natural vitality has disappeared. The important thing to understand is this: your body is not betraying you, it is communicating with you. When you begin listening instead of overriding those signals, you step into a new level of self-respect and self-awareness that many people never reach. Many chosen ones have lived through periods of emotional eating without even realizing it. Stress, loneliness, boredom, and overwhelm can quietly push us toward foods that comfort in the moment but leave us feeling worse afterward. This is a human experience, not a personal failure. Intuitive nourishment is different. It's the practice of slowing down enough to ask, what does my body actually need right now? Sometimes the answer surprises you. It may not be the sugary snack or heavy meal your emotions are craving. Often, your body is asking for something lighter, cleaner, more supportive. Take a gentle look at your own habits. Are you eating to feel temporarily soothed or to feel genuinely sustained and clear? There is no shame in wherever you currently are, only an invitation to become more conscious, one choice at a time. There is a reason people often say, trust your gut. It is not just a figure of speech. Modern science has confirmed that the gut and brain are deeply connected through what researchers call the gut-brain axis. Your digestive system produces many of the same neurotransmitters that influence your mood, focus, and emotional balance. For chosen ones and highly sensitive people, this connection can feel even stronger. When your gut is irritated or inflamed, your mind often follows. You may notice sudden mood dips, anxiety spikes, or that heavy emotional feeling that seems to come out of nowhere. Many people blame stress alone, never realizing their digestion is playing a quiet but powerful role. Start paying attention to how your stomach feels after meals. Is there bloating, discomfort, unusual heaviness? These are not minor inconveniences, they are messages. The more you respect your gut's intelligence, the more stable your overall energy and emotional state can become. Sugar is one of the most common energy disruptors in the modern diet. It promises quick comfort and fast energy, but what often follows is the crash, the irritability, the fatigue, the mental fog that creeps in hours later. Many chosen ones notice this cycle but don't immediately connect it to what they're eating. Refined sugar rapidly spikes blood glucose levels. Your body responds by releasing insulin, which can then drop your blood sugar just as quickly. This roller coaster can leave sensitive individuals feeling emotionally unstable and physically drained. It's not about fear, it's about awareness and balance. You don't have to eliminate sweetness from your life completely, but notice the patterns. After very sugary meals, do you feel calm and clear or jittery and exhausted later? Your body's response is your personal guide, and it rarely lies. Have you ever eaten something that technically tasted fine but left you feeling strangely low afterward? Many chosen ones describe this exact experience. Ultra-processed foods are often stripped of natural nutrients and loaded with preservatives, artificial flavors, and additives designed for shelf life, not necessarily for optimal human vitality. Your body has to work harder to process these substances. For sensitive systems, that extra burden can show up as fatigue, sluggish digestion, headaches, or mental dullness. It's like putting low-quality fuel into a high-performance engine. It runs, but not smoothly. This doesn't mean perfection is required. Life is meant to be lived, not rigidly controlled. But increasing the proportion of whole, minimally processed foods in your routine can make a surprisingly noticeable difference in how steady and clear you feel day to day. Sometimes the issue isn't even the food, it's the lack of proper hydration alongside it. Many people walk around mildly dehydrated without realizing it. Even small drops in hydration can affect concentration, mood, and physical energy levels. Chosen ones often notice headaches, brain fog, or sudden fatigue that mysteriously improves after simply drinking enough water. Your body depends on proper fluid balance to digest food efficiently, circulate nutrients, and maintain stable energy. Without it, even healthy meals may not support you the way they should. Try a simple experiment. For the next few days, consciously increase your water intake and observe your energy patterns. You may be surprised at how something so basic creates noticeable shifts in clarity and physical comfort. One of the most empowering skills you can develop is the ability to distinguish between emotional cravings and genuine physical hunger. They feel similar on the surface, but the body's true needs tend to be calmer and more specific, while emotional cravings often feel urgent and intense. Chosen ones who begin practicing this awareness often notice a powerful shift. Instead of automatically reaching for whatever is most comforting in the moment, they pause. They breathe. They ask their body what would actually support their energy and well-being. You don't have to be perfect at this. Even noticing the difference once or twice a week is progress. Over time, this single habit can transform your relationship with food, energy, and self-trust in ways that feel deeply empowering. One of the clearest signs of personal growth is when your body begins to resist what it once tolerated. Meals you used to enjoy may suddenly feel too heavy. Snacks that once gave quick comfort may now leave you feeling strangely unsettled. This shift can feel confusing at first, even frustrating, because it disrupts what once felt normal. But this is often a sign of increased awareness. As people become more in tune with their physical and emotional state, their tolerance for certain foods naturally changes. The body becomes less willing to silently compensate for choices that don't truly support it. What once went unnoticed now feels obvious. Instead of fighting this change, try observing it with curiosity. What specifically feels different after certain meals? Is it your energy, your digestion, your focus? The more honestly you notice these patterns, the easier it becomes to make choices that genuinely support your well-being rather than working against it. Inflammation is a word that gets mentioned often, but many people don't realize how directly it can affect daily energy levels. Certain foods, especially those high in refined sugars, trans fats, and heavy processing, can promote inflammatory responses in the body, particularly in sensitive individuals. When inflammation increases, the body has to divert resources to manage that internal stress. This can show up as fatigue, joint discomfort, brain fog, or that heavy, sluggish feeling that seems to appear without warning. Over time, repeated inflammatory responses can make energy feel consistently unstable. The empowering part is that small dietary shifts can sometimes reduce this burden significantly. Many people notice improvements simply by increasing whole foods, fiber, and balanced meals, while reducing heavily processed options. Your body is remarkably responsive when given supportive conditions. Many chosen ones quietly notice that eating late at night affects them more strongly than it does others. Sleep becomes lighter. The body feels restless. Morning energy feels slightly off. This isn't imagined. Your body's internal rhythms play a real role here. Digestion requires energy and activity from your system. When you eat very late, your body is trying to process food at the same time it's preparing for deep rest and recovery. For sensitive individuals, this conflict can disrupt sleep quality and next-day clarity more noticeably. If you've been waking up feeling unusually heavy or mentally slow, experiment gently with earlier evening meals when possible. Notice the difference over a week. Small timing adjustments can sometimes create surprisingly powerful improvements in how refreshed you feel. Food is never just physical. It is emotional, cultural, and deeply personal. Many chosen ones are highly empathetic, which means they often eat while stressed, worried, overstimulated, or emotionally overwhelmed. The state you eat in can influence how your body receives what you consume. When you eat in a rushed, anxious, or distracted state, digestion can become less efficient. The nervous system is not fully in rest and digest mode. Over time, this pattern can contribute to bloating, discomfort, or that subtle feeling that meals aren't sitting well. Try something simple but powerful. Slow down your meals. Even a few calm breaths before eating can help shift your nervous system into a more receptive state. It sounds small, but many sensitive individuals notice meaningful changes when they bring more calm and presence to the way they eat. Perhaps the most important truth is this: there is no single perfect diet that works for everyone. What energizes one person may drain another. What feels light and supportive to your friend may leave you feeling heavy and unfocused. Your body has its own language and its own preferences. Chosen ones often make the mistake of trying to copy what works for others instead of observing their own responses. Real awareness begins when you become a careful student of your own patterns, not in a fearful or restrictive way, but in a curious and respectful one. Over the next week, start noticing trends. Which meals leave you clear and steady? Which ones leave you sluggish or foggy? Your answers will be far more valuable than any generic food rule. Your body has been giving you feedback for years. Now you're finally learning how to listen. There's something quietly powerful about simplicity when it comes to nourishment. Many chosen ones discover that the more complicated and heavily engineered their meals become, the more unpredictable their energy feels. On the other hand, simple, balanced meals often create a sense of steadiness that is hard to ignore. Whole foods such as fresh fruits, vegetables, balanced proteins, and natural grains tend to be easier for the body to recognize and process. They don't force your system to work overtime decoding artificial ingredients or managing sudden blood sugar spikes. Instead, they support a smoother, more stable flow of energy throughout the day. This doesn't mean your meals must be boring or restrictive. It simply means that when you build most of your routine around clean, minimally processed foods, your body often responds with more consistent clarity, better digestion, and fewer unexpected crashes. Once you begin paying attention to how food truly affects you, something interesting happens. You naturally start making different choices without forcing yourself. Awareness creates space between impulse and action. Instead of eating on autopilot, you begin eating with intention. Many chosen ones describe this as a turning point. They stop asking, "What do I feel like eating right now?" and start asking, "What will help me feel clear and steady later?" That single shift in perspective can completely transform daily habits over time. The goal is not perfection. It is progress and self-respect. The more gently you observe your patterns, the more your choices begin to align with what genuinely supports your body and mind. One of the quiet challenges many sensitive people face is social pressure. Friends, family gatherings, and cultural expectations often revolve around food, and it can feel uncomfortable to choose differently from those around you. You may have even been told, "Just eat normally," or "You're overthinking it." But honoring your body is not overthinking. It is self-awareness. You don't need to make dramatic announcements or create tension at the table. Often, small quiet adjustments are enough. Choosing lighter portions, balancing your plate differently, or simply being more mindful of frequency can make a real difference. Remember, your responsibility is to your well-being. The people who truly understand you will respect the fact that you are learning to listen to your body more carefully. Transformation rarely comes from one extreme change. It usually comes from small, consistent adjustments that compound over time. Drinking a bit more water, reducing excess sugar gradually, eating a little earlier in the evening, slowing down during meals. These steps may seem simple, but their impact can be surprisingly powerful. Chosen ones often expect dramatic breakthroughs, but the real magic is usually quiet and steady. Your body responds best to consistency, not sudden restriction. When you support it gently and repeatedly, it begins to reward you with clearer mornings, more stable moods, and more reliable energy. Ask yourself honestly, what is one small adjustment you could start this week? Not 10, just one. Sustainable change always begins with something manageable. If there is one message to carry forward, it is this: your body has never been working against you. Every signal, every moment of discomfort, every unexpected crash has been information, guidance, feedback. The challenge was never that your body was silent. It was that life was often too loud to hear it. Now you are becoming more aware, more observant, more willing to notice what truly supports you and what quietly drains you. This is a powerful shift, and it places you in a position of greater self-trust than ever before. So take this moment to reflect deeply. What patterns have you been ignoring? Which foods consistently leave you feeling clear, and which ones leave you feeling off? Your answers matter and your experience is valid. If this message spoke to your experience, take a moment to support the channel. Like this video to help it reach others who need this awareness. Subscribe to Anointed Era for more deep, eye-opening content. And in the comments, share your experience. Have you noticed certain foods affecting your energy differently? Your insight might help someone else connect the dots in their own journey. Stay aware, stay balanced, and most importantly, keep listening to your body.